Volker AG is a typical German mid-sized company with around about 350 people. We are producing in 2 factories in the western and the eastern part of Germany with a headquarter in Witten. This is the western part. We have around about 350 people producing 35,000 electrical beds for the institutional long-term care business and for the acute care or hospital business, and some beds for the home care business. We started our business in Germany 100 years ago, and this is still our main market. But now we are with 5 subsidiaries within Europe on our way in Austria, in Spain, in France, and now in the UK as a new country for us as well. We are directly there. So we are producing beds for other areas of the world, especially hospital beds for Saudi Arabia, for Asia, for the American market as well. So we are really, on our side, an international company with our philosophy of producing and delivering quality and innovation and innovative products.
The core philosophy of Volker is our care concept. The care concept is all about delivering dignified care for the patient and dignified care for the caregiver. The care concept is delivered to these individuals through pioneering products and innovative features. There are many building blocks to the care concept, but 4 of the most important ones are the economical advantages. In this day and age, we have to deliver strong economical arguments for our clients. But it's about patients as well. Patients need a good environment in which to recover. The better the environment, the more hotel-like, the more homely-like that environment is, the faster that a patient can recover, and that's important in this day and age into patient throughput. But it's also about delivering the right therapies. Therapies that actually help the patient and deliver the results and the care packages that patients need. And finally, it's about the product quality. Made in Germany is synonymous with quality and innovation. The engineering standards are applied to all of our products. The traditional sort of bed manufacturer has a 3 to 5% failure rate in its electronic components. Volker, through vertical integration and manufacturing our own electrical components, have developed a system that now mirrors the auto industry. That gives us parts per million failure rates, significant improvements for the healthcare provider. Let's face it, if a bed is broken, it's not available for the patient. So keeping those beds up and in operation is vitally important. The economic arguments don't end there though. Very similar to the car industry, we've developed a diagnostic system for our beds. This allows a maintenance engineer to come along to the bed, plug in his laptop and get data out of the product. This speeds up the maintenance process. It allows quick identification of components, but the system builds on further from that. It allows you to reset software. It allows you to order spare parts. It's a fully integrated system that enables much better, much quicker servicing for a healthcare institution. The Volker Care concept is not just about economical arguments. It's about delivering that dignified patient care. The care comes through the innovative features of the product. We have our assist side rails, which assist patients to roll over in bed and sit up. We have our MiS mattress platform, which helps make them not only more comfortable, but helps with the basic stimulation of the patient. The electrical system that we've developed to drive our bed has also allowed innovative developments in bed design. The vis-a-vis is a good example of this. It allows patients not only to be managed in a traditional hospital bed, but by gross positioning of the patient, can sit a patient up into a full chair position.
The Volker products help benefit patients through their innovation of design. 3 main functions really are the safety sides, the MiS active and the vis-a-vis position. In terms of the safety sides, these can be used as an assist rail to help patients mobilise from the bed or turn themselves in bed. For instance, while they're in bed, you can put the safety side up. The patient may reach across to pull on that and help the handler move the patient onto their side. Whilst the patient is on the side, they can use that as a grab rail to hold on to allow the carer to be free to provide any nursing care they need to do. In regards to the MIS Active, it's a different support surface from a normal bed, which has a solid surface to support the mattress. This is more of an engineered design surface, which allows the support of the patient and to give stimulus back to the patient in terms of movement. What it allows is feedback to the patient to work as a normal process and allow the feedback working on the basal stimuli process to stimulate and increase perception of their position and allow automatic movement for the patient. It increases blood supply and all the benefits associated with movement. In addition, what the MIS Active does is it prevents the person getting stiff and tensing, and again it allows more natural movement by this stimulus coming through the bed base and the patient interacting with the bed itself. One of the advantages over normal pressure relieving mattresses and the air mattresses used is that the MIS Active is part of the bed frame itself and can be upgraded in all Volker beds. It's programmable, so not only does it allow that feedback and promote natural movement, but as I say, it reduces stiffening of the joints, decreased pain, improved sleep, and more vigilance for the patient, who therefore is more awake and can help with their self-care. One of the advantages of MIS Active is the diagnostic modalities of the system, where we can use either a wave, a diagonal, single side, or a circular motion around the wave patterns of the bed. This is advantageous in, say, maybe helping a patient relax using the wave process to help stimulate and relax a patient, which improves sleep patterns. So why do patients get pressure ulcers, and how does MIS Active help with that prevention? Pressure ulcers are really quite complex in terms of treatment, but primarily there's one main cause, which is immobility. What happens is pressure happens across the tissues, mainly across bony prominences, where that prolonged sustained pressure cuts down the blood circulation, the capillary circulation, leading to decreased oxygenation of the tissues, loss of nutrients, and ultimately to the self-starvation and death. The vis-a-vis differs from normal standard hospital beds because it can go into a full chair position. This allows us to overcome the problems associated with moving and handling the patient and getting them into a full chair position. Most of the times we have to transfer using other handling aids. With the vis-a-vis, it overcomes all of these problems, allowing a very simple transfer in terms of allowing the patient to sit up in bed without, in fact, doing a transfer at all. The vis-a-vis position, getting them into a chair, should be seen as part of the therapeutic treatment of a patient. It allows us to get them into a full chair position, allowing them to be weight-bearing through their feet, allowing the weight to go through the long bones of the legs. The good sitting position improves breathing because it allows the diaphragm to expand and the shoulder girdle to open up. It improves the gastric secretion because you've got gravity helping that. It improves also and prevents renal calculi because the long bones weight bearing you to get less demineralisation and calcium leak from the bones, which will help prevent renal calculi. And the weight bearing also has other effects like improve or prevent DVTs or deep vein thrombosis. One of the other advantages with the vis-a-vis is the patient sitting up, not only from all the medical condition improving, but it helps them improve their psychological because they can interact with their environment, see what's going on. They can also participate in some of their care, and it's a far more natural position because we all want to be in that sitting position when we carry out an awful lot of the functions, and our peripheral vision is improved. One of the problems we often find with patients when we get them out in the chair, especially if they're very dependent, is if they become tired or maybe their clinical condition deteriorates, we end up into a very frantic emergency situation where we have to struggle to get the patient back to bed. Again, with the vis-a-vis, because they've not left the bed, it's a very easy process to get them actually back into bed. And should the worst happen and we need to start resuscitation, we can get into that resuscitation procedure very quickly. One of the benefits of using MiS Active and the vis-a-vis position as a combination for intensive care patients means that we can look at trying to prevent complications. One of the primary concerns of any ITU nurse would be trying to prevent the complications of things like pressure ulcer development, reduced cardiovascular instability. And what the bed can do is assist in that, providing a therapeutic benefit. The MiS Active uses the basal stimuli system to promote normal movement. Remember that ITU patients are compromised and cannot move themselves. So what the bed is doing is reminding the body and going back to its automatic memory to say, well, actually, we've moved. It prevents stiffening of the muscle groups, decreases pain and therefore analgesia, and possibly the need for some of the sedation, allowing the patient to be that bit more awake to improve their sleep patterns. And again, one of the big problems with ITU is sleep deprivation. The MiS Active obviously also improves blood circulation through the stimulus of movement and therefore helps with the prevention of pressure ulcers, something which is very high risk in all ITU patients because they're cardiovascularly unstable, the high use of analgesia, sedation and inotropes, which all have a negative impact on blood circulation. A quarter of all patients who have been in ITU for 5 days or more are unable after 5 days to sit themselves up. The vis-a-vis positioning allows us to help sit the patient up using the bed to facilitate that movement. There's multiple benefits of sitting a patient up in ITU. Not only does it improve cardiovascular stability and allows us to gradually develop, but it improves breathing, which obviously improves oxygenation. It allows us, because if we're getting better chest expansion, we've got the diaphragm dropping, we can improve ventilation, and therefore it helps with the weaning process of a ventilator. Because this normal process of sitting somebody up allows the patient to interact more, it does allow them psychologically to benefit from being in that position. And again, it overcomes some of the problems which ITU patients suffer from things like post-ITU disorders.
At 1999, we started our journey at Volker. The idea was to transform the method of lean and Kaizen to the industry of producing hospital beds. Now, 10 years later, we take our next step, making our next chapter. And what we do now is, like you can see behind me, is we qualify some consultants from Volker in the method and in the Kaizen philosophy to translate or transform that to the nursing homes. So they will do my job at the nursing home later on when the qualification is done or was done, and we have the possibility to make this step by step in different stages, like starting with the qualification. Next step is like to go into the nursing home, have a look at the transformation and talk to the people what is good and what is not. So we have the possibility to translate the Kaizen philosophy for nursing homes with the goal or with the target to take or to get more time for nursing people. This is the target at the end of the process.
Volker is a company which provides qualitative and innovative products for the patients and the caregivers with micro and macro stimulation and mobilization for the patients and with supporting the caregivers in all their functionality that they want to do and they have to do all over their working day. Every person has a right to be treated with respect and dignity, especially people in need of care. We think, develop and manufacture with this in mind.